In the last video, we started building this tree fort on a cut off tree stump. We lost some trees recently and had to get them cut down, so we decided to take advantage of the situation and build a tree fort in place of this nice maple. We ran into some challenges last time and didn't finish it, but this week we're going to finish the tree fort and I'm going to camp in it. We are doing all of this at our off-grid property where we are building the ultimate recreational getaway. We've already done some fun things here, but this is the first structure that we're building not on the ground. I think every project I do here has a low point. There comes a point when I'm not really sure I want to keep going, like it's just taking so long or something's not really working out that well, and I kind of just want to give up, and today that's that point for me. There's a few things. First of all, it's been taking a long time. I thought I would try to get it done in 3 days, and I don't even have the deck boards up yet. It's also really high, and I kind of knew it would be, and I kind of dismissed Katrina's concerns. Last week our son went up there with us. We guided him up and just sat up there, and he didn't really have like a healthy fear of the height, which kind of sent me a little bit. You need to sit down, okay? There's no fence yet. You have no fear. It's a little bit scary. I did come up with a solution for that. I will be making it really accessible and safe for him to use whenever he wants without any supervision. I mean, obviously we'll supervise, but you want to make it kind of this baseline safe. But for now, I'm just going to power through this thing and power through the lull of the build, so to speak. And the other side of that always looks bright. Like I had this feeling with the sauna, I had this feeling building an A-frame outhouse, had this feeling building a tent deck. You know, the feeling of just like kind of disappointment. You're like, you're sinking money and time into this thing. You're like, is it worth it? I remember cutting metal for the sauna in the rain. We were kind of like on a tight schedule, and I was cutting metal for the sauna siding, which was just, I remember hating doing that. It was just hard. But now when I use the sauna, I like literally never think of that. You know, it's just there, it's awesome, it looks good. And that's what I'm gonna get to with this thing. Put the framing down, but all the boards still need to be put in place. So I'm gonna be doing that today. I did get one of them cut, but we still have some screwing down to do, and then it's onto the railing. Home Depot didn't really have a lot of great wood this time around, so this one's really warped. But I've got a solution for that. Whoops. I'm using Robertson screws because obviously those are the best. Don't debate me. But for some reason, I got a Phillips one in the box of screws. How does that even get in there? Also, who's making Phillips screws? Come on. Got most of them down. And it feels pretty solid. Good and solid. But it's time for some s'mores by the fire, so that's where I'm going.
You can ask Appa if he would like to make him one. He would like you to make him one.
Mom.
Are you gonna make me one?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on. Keep your hands far back.
You can do it.
Wait, it's ready.
It's not ready yet.
How is it with the no-name chocolate?
Banana. A banana.
It's not even hot, sweetie.
Oat. Ready.
Thank you. Wow, it's warm. spend a little bit of time putting our son to bed, but I'm going to just put down a couple of these boards and then call it a night. Story time in the tent. I think it'd be really cool to stay up here in a little tent. I know the other tent's right there, but that'd be really cool. Might have to do that. So it rained here, and everything is wet. And I kind of knew it would rain, but I don't know why I left all my tools up here. These just got soaked. Oh, wet gloves, soaking wet leather. I don't know if you've ever had one of these get wet before, but it does not last very long. And that's probably not good. That can't be good. Pretty wet. This would have been pretty easily avoidable if I just threw a tarp on it last night, but it didn't even cross my mind. I don't know why. It's gonna send me back a little bit today, but today we're gonna work on the railing. This is the mesh we're gonna use for the railing, and it needs to be cut to size and wood ripped for that. So I got lots to do. It's gonna be a good day.
You're happy at the beach?
Beach.
Should we get some ice cream at the beach?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Follow me. Let's go to the ice cream store.
I set the wet wood up here to dry. It's raining again. I think it'll pass soon, but it's still another setback. This time I at least hung the leather stuff there underneath this roof to dry. And I covered the wood. The corner posts weren't perfectly upright, but using a ratchet strap is kind of a really convenient tool for bringing the posts closer together. I'm going to keep plugging away at this railing, and I think it's going to look really good. Once these two come back from their canoe paddle, we're going to call it a day, and I'll have to come back another day to finish this up. So I actually motorcycled here after work, and I'm going to sleep here the night, and tomorrow I took the day off and I'm just going to finish this up, finish the railings. There's a bunch of little things to do, and then next time we come as a family, our son will be able to come up here and it'll be safe. I'm actually pretty excited to do this. think it's gonna get down to like 11 degrees or something like that tonight, which is pretty cold. That's Celsius. So I will put the fly on at some point, but I totally want to start it without the fly so I can see the sky. It's a clear night. Should be nice. There's a nice little tent. I'm gonna turn the lights off so that I can see the stars. It's gonna take a minute for my eyes to adjust, but it should be pretty good with this dark mesh. Man, it takes a few minutes for your eyes to adjust, but once they adjust, you actually see quite a bit. Good night. See you in the morning. Something about waking up to these views. I could get used to this. I had a hard time choosing what to do with the railing. I wanted to make the railing high and I didn't want to block the view for kids standing in the fort. So I landed on using hog wire for the railings. It cost a little more than just wooden spindles, but I think the look will pay off. I've seen people do these hog wire fences a few ways, and I just decided to cut kind of a groove in the top board. I didn't have a dado bit, so I just cut multiple passes and then kind of broke out the little pieces of wood. And then for the bottom rail, I'm just ripping a 2x4 in half, and then cutting out the width of the hog wire, and then just going to mount it that way. So again, just a top rail with a groove cut through the bottom. And then I start with one side of the bottom rail. And what I'm doing is I'm just sliding up the hog fencing up into this groove. And then I'm sandwiching the bottom between these two pieces of 2x4 that I ripped. So this is working quite well. I'm just going to reinforce the edges with some wood like this. Basically keep the integrity here. I'm just using this circular saw to make these cuts because honestly you're never going to really see them, and it's a tree fort. It's going to be good enough. Always remember to seal the cuts when you're pressure treated, otherwise they're no longer protected. So that's as far as I'm going to get today. I really wanted to build like a gate. I'm not even sure I will. But now all these railings are secured and they look pretty solid. Now it's time to ride to my in-laws and come back another day with my family. I'm here at another beautiful morning at the property. I rode it on my bike today, and the water is just like glass out here. Today I'm going to be building a ladder up to the tree fort. The ladder's been kind of my biggest worry with this. Just watching our son go up and down just the makeshift ladder kind of made me nervous. So I really want to make this thing super safe and make it easy to go up and down without ever having to worry about him falling or anything like that. So I've never built anything like this, so we're going to figure it out together and hopefully it works out really well. It's been a couple weeks and the leaves are changing a bit. So I've got these big 2x10 by 16s, and I wanted to go with these wider boards so that there was less bounce, more rigidity, but I'm worried that there'll be some side to side. So let's just put these up there and see what they look like. I did draw up these steps in SketchUp just to make sure I got the right length of board, but it's still kind of guesswork. I really didn't want these to be too steep. At one point I drew up like proper stairs, like to code stairs, and they would go like way out there and then they'd have to turn, and it was kind of a lot. But after discussing it with Katrina, we kind of landed on a ladder, but just, you know, one with steps and not so extreme of a ladder that kids can kind of fall off of it, but not steps either, you know, something that has a railing, something that's kind of safe. So we're gonna go with this and see how that goes. Gonna use this just to get an idea. 54.5, right on the money. So I'm gonna cut this top notch out. I'm gonna cut where that's gonna go, and then I'm gonna start working my way down with the step template. And then from there, we'll cut the bottom to size and hopefully get it right. All right, so I made this template here, and I'm going to use a router to route out kind of like notches for the steps. I've never really done anything like this before, and I just got a router bit with a top bearing so that it runs along this kind of template I made, and it's been working out really well. All right, this is proving to be super satisfying. I just figured out a little trick here. Instead of marking each stair height, I just marked this. So I just put a mark here, and now I just have to slide it down to the next step, make sure it lines up. That looks good to me. And then I'm ready to go for the next step. Once I get into the groove of things are moving along really well, and it's actually kind of fun to see this thing come together. I want to find out where the steps are going to land, so it's kind of tricky to know where that's going to land on the ground when the base of this structure is a tree. But I figured I could use this like little green laser here. So I just lined it up with 2 points on the bottom of the treehouse. So you can kind of see the mark. It's basically just left of where the board's going to be. But I want to find out if I need to cut this tree down. Turns out I'm going to have to. Basically the tree kind of bends, and this laser line is supposed to be over here. So this little tree has to come down. It's in rough shape anyways, but sad, another tree has to go. And then I'm gonna figure out how much to cut off the bottom. I've got it lined up here. I'm gonna find out how much I need to cut off the bottom by measuring this. So I'm just measuring this up here, and then I'm going to cut that same amount off the bottom, and that will be my stringer height. That is a perfect fit. I don't think I've ever measured something so accurately. Look at that. That's satisfying. Now I'm just gonna do that on the other one and notch out the other steps. Then it's stair building time. So now to do the mirror, I just have to flip this template, and I'm just gonna actually physically flip it like this. I'm gonna line it up, and I'm just gonna move this fence to match this beam here. And if I move the fence, it should line up perfectly fine. So now comes the fun part, and that's putting this together. I'm gluing the grooves with some PL, and then I'm just going to nail it from the back with just a nailer and some galvanized nails. And the PL should be doing most of the work. I normally seal the cuts that I make, and I tried to find some information whether I could seal the cuts and then use PL glue on those cuts, but I couldn't really find anything in forums and stuff like that. So what I did was I just asked ChatGPT, and it came up with like this really nice response on how PL glue adheres to things and what I should do in this case, either let it dry or do it dry, but it's not going to adhere very well if it's wet at all. So I just decided not to seal it, and I just glued it right away. So the steps look great, but I didn't really factor in that they're quite heavy now. In theory, it should get lighter as it stands up, right? That worked. Switch sides. Walk it down. Oh. All right. Let's get in there. Yo, that is solid. That's crazy. That is so solid. I used some strong tie stair hangers to secure the stairs to the platform, and they definitely promote confidence. And now that the stairs are up, I'm going to finish up the railing. Got our top rail. The reason I put the top rail up here is because it brings it up to code. Now it's like the right height, and it's less easy for people to fall over. That's kind of the idea. But let me show you these stairs. How good is that? I feel like these are best. It's best to go down these backwards, but you can totally go down them forward. First time trying the ladder.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, just like that.
So these stairs are done here, but I'm going to be putting up a railing just to make it a little bit safer, especially for going down. Going up, you kind of naturally lean forward, but going down, it'll be nice to have a railing to hold on to. And I've come up with like kind of a neat little solution using chain link top rail, and we're going to do that right now. Oh, he's going for it. Down now. Today I'm here mostly to chainsaw. It's kind of one of the ongoing tasks we have to do around here is clean up wood. We had a bunch of trees cut in the summer, and I have not got around to cleaning those up yet. So that's what I'm doing today. Maybe I'll finish up the railing for the tree fort, but The main purpose today is the chainsaw. I, without fail, overfill these things every time. Today my goal is to cut all this stuff up and get it ready to split. That's maple from this tree fort tree. And then there's lots of other stuff over here. Some trees got felled there, and then there's some up the hill too. It's basically just like a lot of work doing, what do they call it, bucking. Cutting up this oak is some heavy work, but fortunately the saw is doing most of it. There's some really rich looking compost material inside the rotten part of the log, but the bottom of the tree was in better shape and I cut those logs into a nice little climbing fort for our son. Figured I'd make use of some of these other rotten trees and make some sort of ball roll or water feature or something out of this later. So I bombed through all this wood now and got that out of the way, but now it's time to finish up this railing for this tree fort, and then the tree fort will be done. I'm sure we'll add some things to it over time, like we'll add features and I don't know, maybe a roof or something, but I really do want to get this railing done to make it ultra safe for everyone going up and down. So the issue here is this bit doesn't go all the way through, like it would just bottom out. I mean, I guess I could go further, but I realized that the pipe is kind of basically more or less the same as this. So I don't really have to go through. I'm just gonna like jam the pipe into this and leave the core kind of intact, and it'll be fine. I just need like an inch or so of the pipe to be in this handle, and then it'll work. Boom. Look how much safer this looks. I'm really happy with that. I think I successfully made this a lot safer for our son. Kind of all my worries about him going up and down it and the transition from the top to the bottom, they've all kind of been met with this, and I could not be happier. I am super happy and relieved that this is done. I got through the lull of the build and I'm on the other side of it, and it's completely finished and it feels safe, and all the things I was worried about have been taken care of. The best part about being done this is that it's just here now and we can go up and use this whenever we want. We've been playing games up here and reading books and playing, and it's been really fun just spending time up here as a family. It does provide a unique view of the property, and it's just really nice to have a high spot to do some other activities like this bucket zip line that we just quickly tied up. I hope to add to this a lot and make some cool things from this tree fort. For now, we're just gonna enjoy it as it is, and we already have a booking from my brother and his wife to camp in the tree fort, so it's already getting its fair share of use. Thanks for following along on this tree fort build, and just thanks for being here for it. I would love any advice any of you have, and please consider subscribing.